Atlus and parent company Sega are on fire, and there's no slowing them down as everything from the Persona series to the Like a Dragon franchise, Shin Megami Tensei, and the newly released Metaphor ReFantazio are breaking records left and right. Sega has recently discussed their success and what they believe is responsible for their continued growth. So while we are going to dive into that and its implications for future titles like Persona 6, we're also going over some new developments going on with Persona 5 The Phantom X and Metaphor ReFantazio, as Studio Zero is already hard at work on a brand new game. We'll also be briefly touching up on the latest developments with Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So yeah, we've got a lot to go over. So if you're a fan of any of these awesome franchises, show your support by attacking the like button. And if you're interested in what may likely become the greatest Yakuza / Like a Dragon spin-off game ever created, participate in my ongoing giveaway of Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, linked in the description. This game was recently moved up a week to release on February 21st instead of its previous February 28th release, so I will be closing the giveaway on the 19th to make time for the winner to receive their game by launch. Again, participate with the link in the description, and just know that we're in for a wild ride with this one. With the massive Hawaiian setting introduced and Infinite Wealth returning, along with Majima's focus on real-time brawling, plus robust naval exploration and combat, along with all the crazy minigames and side stories that put this franchise on the map, this game is looking like one of those titles you're not going to want to miss next year, so definitely keep this game on your radar, and I'll be diving deep into this one as we approach its release early next year. First things first though. We gotta talk about Atlus and Sega's incredible milestones and the successes of both the Persona and Like a Dragon franchises, as these milestones are undoubtedly the blueprint for high-profile Atlus and Sega games going forward. According to Sega's annual integrated report for 2024, the entirety of the Persona series at this point has sold a whopping 23.5 million copies, and the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series has sold a total of 27.7 million units. With the Persona 5 line of games, including its original 2016 release, Persona 5 Royal, and the numerous spin-off titles within the Persona 5 family having reached a combined 10 million units sold, the Persona 5 line of games accounts for almost half of that series' lifetime sales, and Sega believes there is a reason behind this enormous success that is drawing more interest into the franchise. As Sega describes it, it comes down to 3 reasons. One being the publisher's recent approach in ensuring their titles have multi-platform launches. 2, Sega believes its continued work in simultaneous worldwide releases has massively sustained interest in their franchises, allowing every region around the world to enjoy these big releases all at once, rather than having fans outside of Asia wait months or even years to get their hands on these titles. And finally, in point 3, Sega cites within their 2024 report that remasters and spin-offs are large factors for these series' continued sales growths, with recent examples like their incredibly successful Persona 3 Reload being chief among them. Sega hopes to continue generating interest in the Yakuza franchise by breaking up their mainline numbered releases with high-profile spin-offs like their upcoming Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and these strategies between both the Persona and Like a Dragon franchises will be applied to all games going forward. These recent statements corroborate previous statements from Sega, like this one back in 2023 during Sega's quarterly earnings Q&A, where the company's president, Haruki Atami, teased plans for the next mainline Persona game, specifically regarding achievable sales targets for games like Persona 6. Quote, "We believe that it would be possible for a major Persona title, such as a numbered release, to sell 5 million copies in its first year by releasing it on multiple platforms and simultaneously worldwide from day one," as said from the 2023 report. What was once exclusive to the PlayStation consoles, Persona, along with the Yakuza series, can now be enjoyed on pretty much every other platform out there now. So this is no doubt a win-win for both players, as we have a number of options as to where we can can play these games, and also for Sega and Atlus, as they have that much more of a pool of potential players that they can sell their games to. With Persona 3 Reload, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance all setting sales records within their respective franchises, along with the incredible success of Metaphor ReFantazio's over 1 million units sold on launch day, it's because of this shift away from platform exclusivity and adhering to global launch releases that has seen these franchises completely blow up. Going forward with upcoming games like the unannounced Persona 6, we can expect that that game will definitely be adhering to this new release schedule. So big congrats to Atlus and Sega for not only making these awesome games, but also for making these games more broadly available for all of us to enjoy. Some may find it interesting then that a major spin-off game within the Persona 5 series hasn't quite adhered to Sega's current approach to game releases, but thankfully more and more signs are hinting at a soon-to-be launch coming around the corner to other platforms and territories. This game being Persona 5 The Phantom X. We've been covering this game a lot over the past few months, as most of East Asia has access to the game, and while there have been official comments from its developers stating that this free-to-play game will be brought to regions outside of Asia, we are still awaiting more news on that front. Recently, however, we have seen some developments regarding an additional platform that the game is likely to launch on next, as this currently mobile-only game just recently received its own page on a Steam database listing for the game's playtest. We have known for a while that developer Blackwing's game studio was eyeing a PC launch before putting it out on consoles, so perhaps this listing reflects the studio prepping the game for a Steam release. While it's not a substantial update, it is yet another one that suggests we hopefully won't have to wait too long for this game to launch internationally and on multiple platforms. So fingers crossed we get to learn more about this soon, as those who have played it in Asia have a lot of great things to say about this Persona 5 spin-off. Alright, Metaphor ReFantazio is now celebrating its first month, and as we mentioned earlier, it stands as Atlus's fastest selling game they have ever made. While no big new updates have hit the game, some fans have been a bit disappointed with the game's performance, especially on consoles, and for those who ended up getting the mighty PS5 Pro that comes at a mighty price, Digital Foundry has reported that the game performs much better on the Pro, now being able to reach a much more consistent 60 frames per second with its raw horsepower upgrades, even though the game doesn't currently have a PS5 Pro patch. Pro owners will definitely enjoy this, no doubt, but what we will all enjoy is the news that Studio Zero, the team behind Metaphor ReFantazio, is already hard at work on a new game. Metaphor game director Katsura Ashino recently revealed to Famitsu that Studio Zero is already working on a brand new game, with Ashino remarking about his studio, quote, they've already started, end quote. When asked if director Ashino was helming this new project, Ashino remarked, I don't really think about it as an individual. I look at Atlus as a whole and think about what our team should create. He continues with, first, I want our users to be happy, and then I want the company to be happy too. That's how I always work. While Famitsu wasn't able to get Ashino to explicitly reveal what the team may be currently working on, Ashino reiterated that Studio Zero wasn't founded specifically just to make Metaphor ReFantazio, but instead as, quote, a place for new endeavors that calls itself Studio Zero, end quote. It's definitely unclear if this means more Metaphor or something entirely new, but the fact that this exceptionally talented team is already hard at work on their next big game is something we can all celebrate and look forward to. Let me know what you think this next game could be in the comments. Do you think it'll be a sequel to Metaphor, maybe a sequel to Catherine, or perhaps an entirely new game? Who knows, but in the end, Studio Zero, along with the Persona team and the Shin Megami Tensei team, are all putting out their very best work right now, and going forward, we are likely to see even grander things as these franchises continue to grow. Speaking of growing, Persona 6 is a game that has received some big new rumors and leaks over the last few months, so if you're interested in learning more about that game and when we may finally get to see its reveal, you can find me over in this video. That's all I got for you in this one. I'll be seeing you real soon next time.